Hi, this is Mike Ryan. I just had lunch with a tech friend of mine who had a very successful tech company that he grew. And since he started a new tech company, and we met, back in February, it's now almost October. And since then, he's had a pivot. And it made me think about one of the important things that all entrepreneurs and founders of startups or even growth companies or even mature companies need to understand the art and the science of pivoting. And when I think about the company that have done that, you can think of all those that range from tech companies like Twitter, even Microsoft and Apple, to companies like Sony, which began as a rice cooker. You can think of companies that haven't pivoted or have been successful. If you think about the number one typewriter company in the 1970s was Smith Corona. And not only did they not pivot, my guess, I'm not sure Smith Corona even around. They never did pivot towards the personal computer or mobile or any of those things. So really the key to understanding when you start a company, at least from the founder's point of view, the idea that you have initially may not be the company that you eventually build. And to recognize that you should have a clear idea of what you want to build as far as a company and have a vision for what that takes. And if it's a technology company or if it's a service company or product company and you build that, but also understand that along that pathway, at least early on, you may come up with clues based on customer feedback, based on what the market's telling you that you may need to pivot. And if you think of some recent examples of that, if you think about the founders of Twitter that initially started a company that was headed down one way and really pivoted towards the 140 characters that brought Twitter to today. Or if you think about YouTube that started out as a personal dating site that then pivoted towards video and then was sold to Google after about 18 months of operation. I can think of my own personal experience where I've started a number of companies and realized that over the course of the developing months and year or so that you really have something else that you have gotten some feedback and said, this is something we probably should pursue further. And also, I remember having a conversation about a bricks and mortar type company that was the largest operator, or one of the largest operators of hospitals in the United States, a company called Humana. That, like Hospital Corporation of America, HCA, or Tenet Health Systems, which are large proprietary New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ traded companies, Humana was a hospital company and managed hospitals in many parts of the country. I remember having lunch with then CEO Mike McAllister, who, this was in the late 90s, was telling me, he said, Mike, we walked away from 97% of our revenue base, which is, quite extraordinary when you think about it. The company was originally founded about 1969, and they pivoted away from running and operating and owning hospitals, and they pivoted to become an insurance company to move farther up the stream, as the story goes. And they were successful in actually doing that. And to this day, Cameta is considered one of the top insurance companies in the United States. So think about, as you maybe not start a biggest company as Humana or Microsoft or Apple, all that have taken pivots over their course of their business history. But think about, doing some investigation on what it means to pivot from an art. It's really an art versus a science. And the key is understanding what the marketplace is telling you and what customers are telling you. And those may be more opportunities as you pivot from one product solution to another that may make you even more successful than you initially started. So really understanding that it's not unusual to have a pivot. And in most cases, companies that are going to survive in the long run go through perhaps several pivots in the history of while they're around. So that's it for now. Talk to you soon. It's Mike Ryan.